Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daniela and today I have another haul for you. This one is new books and special edition books that I have purchased. I think the last video I did for this went up at the beginning of January, so we're like mid-April now. So we're looking at about 4 months worth of purchases again. Some of these are special editions, some of these have come from subscription boxes, some of them are just standard editions that I've purchased. I'll show you all the standard editions before I get into the special editions and book subscription boxes. So I'm going to jump straight in and show you what I got. The first book I picked up was Dark Rise by C.S. Packer. I think this has a gay romance in. I could be wrong. This is just from like memory, top of my head. I'm pretty sure it has a gay romance in. I just think this book cover is absolutely stunning with the character on the front. And it says, "The dark will rise, who will fall, who will stand," on the back. This is just a standard edition. It says, "The ancient world of magic is no more. Its heroes are dead, its halls in ruins, and its great battles between light and dark are forgotten. Only the stewards remember, and they keep their centuries-long vigil sworn to protect humanity if the Dark King ever returns." So in this book, the Dark King returns, and our main character is a 16-year-old boy, and it is his destiny to help fight against this Dark King. I've heard people talk about this, I like the sound of it, so I picked this up. Next, I picked up Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is another fantasy. I think it's an adult fantasy. There is some sort of celestial event looming, and when the celestial event happens, some gods are meant to return, or something along those lines. Just another one I've heard people talk about and liked the sound of. Again, just a standard edition. Both this and Dark Rise are both the first in series. Next, I picked up the Gilded Wolves series. This might have another name, I'm not sure what it is. So it's the Gilded Wolves, the Silvered Serpents, and the Bronzed Beasts. And I got all 3 of these. These 2 covers seem slightly different to this. This one's embossed, which I really like the feel of, and the other 2 aren't, which is slightly disappointing. But yeah, just another fantasy series that I've heard really good things about, and I'm looking forward to reading. Next up, I picked up a signed edition from Waterstones of The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. I also had to try and find a hardback copy of Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne, which was very, very difficult to track down. I managed to find a used copy on Amazon. It's in pretty good condition, I'm happy with it. I'm not actually sure if these are fantasy, they might be fantasy, but I know they are definitely like Norse, Viking based books, and I love a good Viking story, so I'm really excited to read these. Carrying on with the mythology theme, this is based on Greek mythology, and it's Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. Again, heard good things about it, was interested, and this one has some lovely end papers, and I really like the naked design on this. It has the columns with the name along the back of the book, which I think is a very nice touch. This is just the standard edition. Next up, I'd picked up The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons in a charity shop, and I've read it, I really enjoyed it, I want to continue on with the series, and so I just dived straight in because I've pre-ordered the 5th book with Goldsboro, and I purchased the 2nd book, which is The Name of All Things. I also purchased Memory of Souls and The House of Always. So once I get my copy of the 5th book, which is, I've pre-ordered it and I'm waiting for it to come out, I think it comes out at the end of this month, I'll have the full series. I think we're on the last 2 of the standard editions now. I picked up a copy of Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith. I've heard a lot of good things about this. I had read some of it already on the webtoons, but I really liked the hardbacks that they've done in these, and I think I'm going to collect the whole series. But it's got all the artwork laid out in the hardback, and it's very, very nice to have and to hold. So yeah, I think this is my first graphic novel I've ever purchased. Next up, this is one of my favourite books that I have read so far. It is Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. I wanted to get a nice hard copy version. There's different covers for this, some are harder to get than others, but I went for this one. I'm so happy to have a nice edition of this to reread, and I will definitely be rereading this book. Anxious People is about a bank robber that ends up accidentally taking hostages in an apartment complex, and about the scenario that unfolds between the bank robber and all of the people that are at this apartment viewing. It is funny, it is sad, it's heartwarming. I absolutely loved it. I cried buckets when I got to the end of the book. I read the acknowledgements and cried again. I just absolutely loved this book. I lied, I have one more set of standard edition books. These are from an indie author, and it is the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. This starts with Guild. It is a King Midas retelling. It is very, very good. It's so clever. I love what they've done with this. And I've also got the second book, which is Glint. I've read both of these, and I purchased the third book as well, which is Gleam, and I intend to purchase the rest of these. The fourth one isn't out yet, but I haven't read the third one because I'm waiting for the fourth one to come out, because I can't bear the thought of getting to an end and not being able to continue. So I'm waiting for these now. But yeah, the first two books really, really good. I lied again. I have 3 more standard editions. I picked up Comfort Me With Apples by Catherine M. Valente. I have read this. It's a very short book. It's about 100 pages long. It's just a little thriller. It's a little bit weird. I like it. Very good. I liked the concept. It was an easy, quick read. I think I'm going to reread this one because I also really enjoyed the writing style in this. Next up, I purchased The Dark and Starless Sea by Sarah Hollowell. This is, I think it's another fantasy. We have a lovely curvy lady on the front cover. I managed to get a signed bookplate edition of this. So this is about a bunch of siblings, and they live on the edge of a forest, and some of the siblings go missing, and it is left to our main character to go into the forest and try and find her siblings and get them back. She ends up gaining some magical powers while she's in the forest, and as her power grows, so does the darkness inside of her. So it sounds like a nice dark little fantasy. Next up, I have King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. Scarlett St. Clair also wrote A Touch of Darkness and the rest of that series, so smutty books. Don't know how much smut because I haven't read any Scarlett St. Clair yet. I'm pretty sure this one is vampires, and I've always loved vampires, so I think I will enjoy this. Now we're moving on to the special editions. These ones were actually a birthday gift for my partner, Andy, and so I splurged a little bit and I got him these lovely Folio Society editions of Jurassic Park and also The Lost World. I'm pretty sure you can still get these. They come in like this faux leather cover with a kind of dinosaur skin design on, and then the actual books themselves have this full wraparound cover, which I'm obsessed with. And they're also illustrated inside. So there's quite a few illustrations inside the book. Similarly with The Lost World, again, it has the wraparound cover and illustrations inside. I missed another standard edition. How am I doing this? I got Fireheart by Emma Hamm. This is another indie author. I absolutely fell in love with the cover of this book. This is a complete and utter cover purchase. I will be buying the whole series just for the covers, but I'm sure that the story will be wonderful also. This, I believe, is a fantasy romance with dragons, and it also, the hardcover edition has this lovely Under the Dust Jacket design. I think the second one that's coming out has blue on it, and the inner pages have some illustrations on the chapter headers. So very, very nice book. Super happy with that. I managed to find a copy of The Righteous on eBay. This was the Goldsboro edition hardback with blue sprayed edges, and it's also signed by the author. Oh, and number 240 of 350 copies. This is the second book of the Blackhawks. I really want to find a copy of the Blackhawks, but as far as I'm aware, there's not many hardback editions of that out there, so it's going to be a struggle, probably a long-term struggle trying to find a copy of that, but hopefully I will be able to do that. Next up, super happy with this. I could have bought this from Illumicrate. They had them in stock whenever it was, months ago, and I didn't bother because I hadn't read the book yet, and boy oh boy did I regret it. So I spent ages hunting down a copy of the Illumicrate version of The House in the Cerulean Sea because I read this book, I absolutely loved it. I only gave it 4 stars. I need to bump it up to 5 because I haven't stopped thinking about it. I love it, I love the characters, and so I got the Illumicrate edition with the beautiful Under the Dust Jacket artwork. and I'm so happy with this. I'm so happy that I managed to find a copy of this. If you haven't read it, House in the Cerulean Sea is a fantasy. It's kind of written like a children's book, but not. It's definitely like for adults, but it's got that whimsical childhood feeling about it. It's really, really nice story. It's really heartwarming. Absolutely loved it. Highly, highly recommend you read this. Next up, we have the Winners trilogy from Illumicrate. So it is The Winner's Curse, The Winner's Crime, and The Winner's Kiss. These were special editions that were done. You might still be able to get these on the website, I'm not 100% sure, but they have lovely holographic foiling on the front and on the back, and then they have some very nice foiling under each of the dust jackets. I think the first one is hand signed and the other two are digital signatures. I'm not sure if this is a fantasy so much as a Regency. Enemies to lovers, maybe? I'm doing this off the top of my head, but I am very much looking forward to giving these a go. Next up, I have the Fairy Loot edition of Fawn by Intisar Kanani. The back of this book says, One Princess, Two Fates, An Impossible Choice. It's a YA fantasy book, and it is a Goose Girl retelling. I don't actually know what Goose Girl is, so I'm really excited to read this because I know literally nothing. It also has these very nice ombre edges, and I love the hardback of this with the pink foil on the black. It looks very, very striking. Love that it's roses. Very Beauty and the Beast vibes with that. And it also has a ribbon bookmark in there. Next up, another book I haven't read but still bought the special edition for. It is the Illumicrate edition of The Love Hypothesis. I managed to get the hand-signed version, and the foiling on this is absolutely stunning. It has gold foiling of the main characters on the front. I've heard very good things about this, although I have seen mixed feelings about the smut scenes in this. Some people think they're very cringe, some people enjoy it, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. Another Illumicrate edition and Greek mythology based. This is the Madeline Miller set that came in this absolutely gorgeous foiled slipcase, and it has Circe and the Song of Achilles in here. So it just has the standard front covers that are foiled on the naked hardbacks, and I just think these are absolutely beautiful. Again, haven't read the books. Hopefully I'm going to enjoy them. I think I got the signed editions of these, and you may still be able to get them. Again, just double check the website because I'm not sure. We have just 7 books left for this haul, and she's done it again. She lied. I've got another standard edition. Is it standard? Probably a little bit special. It's the Waterstones exclusive edition of Pandora, which is another Greek myth inspired. And I love the sprayed edges on this. It has this beautiful blue design with the vase on it. Lovely end papers. And it was a signed edition. So this one is about our main character, Dora. She lives with her uncle in what used to be her parents' famed shop of antiquities. There is a vase that ends up coming into the shop, and she asks this young scholar, Edward, to help her discover the origins of the vase, and along the way she discovers some mysteries about her family that maybe she's not very happy with. So it sounds really interesting, kind of like Greek mythology, mystery type thing. And of course it is another beautifully designed book. How can anyone resist? Next up I have the March Goldsboro Sci-Fi and Fantasy, which is the embroidered book. I actually already had a copy of this, but I'm keeping this edition because my copy was just like it was a Waterstones exclusive with the blue sprayed edge, but it wasn't signed. This one has a nice marbled edge. It is numbered and hand signed, and it also has this beautiful naked hardback design with foiling, which I wasn't expecting, so I was super happy when I saw that. This book is a historical fiction / fantasy, and it is based on Marie Antoinette and I think her cousin, and it just sounded really interesting to me when I read the synopsis. Super happy to have a very nice edition of this. Next up I have the very super popular edition of the Atlas 6 from Illumicrate. This has like this holographic foil on it. It's a very nice design, and then it was the edges that got me with this one. It has like this space themed edges that are just absolutely beautiful. There is a holographic design on the hardback and some lovely end paper art with the characters on. And this one is also hand signed. We're on to the last few books now. It's the home stretch. Stick with me. We have the Justice of Kings by Richard Swan. This was the February Goldsboro pick and it has lovely sprayed edges. This is an adult fantasy. It's a first in a series and we are following our main character who is the King's Justice, and he is a detective, judge and executioner all in one, and we are following him on some sort of journey that I do not remember. But I do remember reading the synopsis for this and it sounded very, very interesting. My last few editions are from The Broken Binding. They are a small bookshop and they have recently started a subscription box, but they were doing a couple of special editions before that and I picked up, this is an adult fantasy, so we have The Thousand Eyes and The Unspoken Name, which is a duology, and again, beautiful sprayed edges. I love digitally sprayed edges. Very nice to have a set that isn't a huge series and a nice little duology to get my teeth into. And finally, the last book. I saved the best to last. I got The Blade itself. This is a brand new reprint that has been done by The Broken Binding. It was the first in their subscription box and it has these lovely sprayed edges based off of the original design. It has end papers. It is hand signed. I managed to grab number 37 out of 1500 numbered copies. And then under the jacket, look at this. It is absolutely beautiful. And on the side it says, "Say one thing for Logan Ninefingers." This is the first Law series by Joe Abercrombie. I haven't read any Joe Abercrombie yet, but I've heard a lot of good things and I'm so excited to read this. I will be getting book 2 and 3 in the subscription box as it comes out. That was a long one. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, as always, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.